Remove the borders. Remove the labels. And, for one moment, remove the deeply prejudicial assumption that North America has always been free of continental waterfowl. What remains is a broad central pad at Lake Huron. One long mark reaches west through Superior. Another drops south through Michigan. A third runs east through Erie and Ontario. 3 radiating impressions, joined by water, arranged around a wider center. That is not merely lake-shaped. It is offensively duck-shaped. A duck has what biologists call a palmate foot, 3 forward-facing toes connected by webbing, with a much smaller rear toe. The lakes do not reproduce every wrinkle, but the architecture is there. Huron is broad. Michigan is long. Erie and Ontario form an eastern ray. Superior supplies the lateral sweep. And the apparent problem of 5 lakes is less damaging than it sounds. Michigan and Huron share essentially the same level and are joined by the Straits of Mackinac. Hydrologically, they behave as one lake. The names divide them more enthusiastically than the water does. The system stretches more than 1,200 kilometers from west to east. This requires a duck normally excluded from field guides and sensible zoning laws. But scale alone does not settle shape. A tiny print and a continental print can share geometry. Now consider the geological language. The Laurentide ice sheet did not move as one tidy wall. It divided into lobes that followed broad, branching lowlands. Ice flowed along the axes of the Michigan and Huron basins, and their deep troughs guided it. Lobes. Branches. A broad center with long projections. Geology has spent a century describing a duck's foot while refusing to draw the duck. The strongest duck case is therefore this: the glacier did not need to create the outline. They could have deepened older impressions while preserving the plan. Ice readily turns an existing weakness into a larger basin. A track already present would make the glacier less an eraser than an enthusiastic archivist. Beneath Lake Ontario is the Galloo Ridge, a real limestone feature with a magnificently inconvenient name. It proves nothing biological, but it prevents a responsible investigator from leaving early for lunch. Unfortunately for the enormous duck, a footprint is a pressure event, not just an outline. A genuine track should deform one continuous surface, raise displacement rims, and leave related structures underneath. Ideally, there would also be another step. Even a cautious duck must put its foot somewhere else. Instead, the lake floors preserve different stories. Superior occupies an ancient basin tied to the mid-continent rift. Erie follows softer rock and pre-glacial drainage. Michigan contains drowned channels, a submerged delta, ridges, moraines, and separate basins. Ontario contains sculpted parallel ridges and limestone ledges. The depths do not scale like one print. Erie is comparatively shallow, Superior descends far below sea level. The lakes sit on a hydraulic staircase, while the crust around them still rebounds from the vanished ice. That movement is measurable today. So, are the Great Lakes the footprint of an enormous duck? From orbit, the case is disturbingly elegant: a broad pad, 3 great rays, web-like connections, and an officially recognized duck ridge lurking beneath the water. As a silhouette, it deserves far more respect than it has received. But the decisive evidence lies below the silhouette. The basins record ancient faults and valleys, repeated glacial scouring, meltwater, moraines, and a continent slowly rising after the weight of the ice was removed. The Great Lakes were not pressed into the earth by a duck. They were carved by something colder, slower, and almost as large, the Laurentide ice sheet. Which means the duck is cleared of geology, though not, in my view, of looking extremely suspicious.